Did you all know about survival mission? Survival mission is one of the easiest yet also a good mission that I always like to play. However, if you know about survival mission, you know that there are certain people when they play, no matter it's solo or as a team, you always heard about a favorite terms which is camping. You see, camping is already being existed in the survival mission for a long time now, but you know that certain people like and hate to use camping. In fact, I always heard about there's two sides of camping voices, which is why for this video, I want to take a look at how and why camping happened in survival mission. So, without further ado, let's hop right into it. Before we learn about camping, we have to understand how does the enemy spawn in the survival mission. To put it simple, imagine that you're in a small room, then enemies will spawn in the room which is connected or close to your room. Which is why, if you take a closer look, when you're trying to traveling in a long distance, enemies won't actually spawn immediately. And if let's say you really saw those enemies, sorry, that's not the newly spawned enemies. Instead, those are the old enemies that drag into your current position. This mechanic makes it very easy to manipulate with the enemy spawning. In order for us to manipulate this spawning mechanism, sometimes people realize that it is best to stay in a fixed position, not moving around, so that enemies will constantly spawn in your position. Otherwise, if you move too much or too far away, the enemy can't spawn in time, or it will take time to spawn a new batch of enemies, which will take time. Especially in survival, this is one thing that we have to prevent at all costs. And this is why camping method has been developed. But it's not just only about camping without any consideration. People usually like to camp in a small room, all because of they try to minimize the enemy trying to hit from all angles. Which is why most of the time, people that like to play camping will always camp in a small room that only have one door. That's because they have to make sure that not only enemy will only hit from one direction, which can make sure that you're safe at all costs, but it is also much easier for you to focus on one side instead of all direction, which is why camping method in a small room have become the core of this method itself. Unfortunately, some players think that because camping is one of the best methods played in survival mission, sometimes they decided to take it even further ahead. They think that rather than just looking at the screen for all time, why don't we find some way to let us AFK during survival mission? And that's why you can see a certain player play the camping method using almost the same build, which may be including whips or necros, and for their weapons, almost the same weapon can be like schedule and bubonical, because these two weapons don't consume ammo at all, and they can reload instantly. That's why you can see that camping method have become almost a meta and almost the same build throughout the time. But that's not all. If let's say that the build have become almost meta, then one thing that trigger a lot of people the most is none other than whether should we play camping in survival missions. Because I assume that a lot of you already encountered this, where if you play in a team, some players will force you to follow their lead, where you must play camping. And if you don't follow them, most of the time, either they will spit out rude words or they will just rage quit. I'm not telling that people who play camping is the worst players. No, I'm not telling you that. But some players somehow cannot think so properly that we are playing a very free game. And this also means that there's no such strict rules that what kind of meta should we play. So maybe you have your own methods to play, but that doesn't apply to us. This is why you can see that until right now, I usually play survival mission solo, because at some point I do not want to met some people that because I just don't follow the way they play and they think that I'm the person that don't cooperate at all. Why I'm saying this? Because I once played in the past also met these kind of people, which also makes me quite a little annoyed about certain players. And so there you have it. Camping is one of the fun methods that have been developed from time to time and become one of the meta in the survival missions. But because of different players play differently, which is why you can hear that camping always has two sides of voices. But no matter which side you're from, I can tell you very honest is that it's just a method, and you can choose which method you wanted to play. You can try to be camping for today, maybe tomorrow you want to be more aggressive, try to go around, that's your choice. Because especially if you're playing solo, then no one will judge you at all. So it's a very simple thing. If you think that playing with team, they try to judge you whether you want to play camping or not, very simple. You just play solo. Why would you need to meet those people again in a team when you can just play solo, right? If this is your first time watching, why not leave a like and subscribe to my channel so that you won't miss out any newest contents from me. Why not leave your comments down below if you got any ideas or thoughts you want to share with all of us. And that's it from me, and as always, I will see you all next time. Bye bye!